So the following story came to me at the equinox this year. It's now solstice night. The equinox this year, when I was watching the Wren dance, and I kind of felt a story hanging around. So I grabbed my phone and let the story come through. And hope you will enjoy. It's a little gift from the Wren and the equinox morning for you on a solstice night, and to the night that you're all in now. I hope you'll enjoy.
The story of the boy who tried to tame the wren. Let us sit back and relax into that lovely old armchair and sink our minds back through the new forests of today, back through those autumn leaves to the old wild woods of once. And there we find an old little village of thatched roundhouses in the old woods. It was a little village of 4 or 5 houses, not very many, but their clan totem was very strong. But their clan totem was that of the crow. Although the crow totem being that of a very wise bird, there was one young boy born there, under the waxing moon, who disagreed with this as he got older. For he was as wild as the wind, and as jealous as the wind in its wild dance through the trees of one little round fluff ball. That was the wren. He thought, being so clever, that their clan totem was that little round fluff ball. And he set his life's mission, as he felt, to be that of the one to tame the wren. Oh, pulled up his breeches, all that a likes, and he strode off one morning just before dawn, and several following mornings, and many, many more mornings at dawn, to collect the wee insects that lived in the dawn, bracken and nettles. Then, by mid-morning, he was off every day for long hours, a long haul, after collecting the insects to the pine woods of the upper reaches of the mountains, where he would collect pine sap, and mixing and congealing that pine sap into a glue with the rootinous plant that grew further down the mountainside. He would stick those little insects to his body, and being bold and not caring and clever as he was, he would then take himself to the nettle patch on the edge of the village, and lie there, waiting for the wren. Naked he was, and red and blotched, but he did not care. He lay there, and many mornings the wren would get quite close, and even chipped at him a few times, to his glee and delight, and eager, hungry flight. But nae did the wren get close enough to satisfy his desire. 5 years passed. 5 evening fires lit and flared in the village square. the village centre, lighting up in its flickering flames, if you look closely enough, the little glints of insects and glue, stuck to the naked hullabaloo, lying in the nettles and being stung, waiting for his wren song. Finally, the song got closer and closer, through the little fluff balls, hops, until it nipped an insect or two. The boy flinched in mesmerized desire and glee. Having waited so long beneath these trees, stung and blotchy and now hard of skin, he tried his hardest not to make a din, with the excitement shivering his body as the little pecks became more frequent. Until one day, with wonderful glee, the wren jumped upon his little tummy and hopped its way up into his chin, made a little chip chip, and snipped one of the hairy, sticky things from his gristling chin. Gobbled it down and looked at him sideways, its little head hopping about. She started to dance a little dance that only wrens know, about his body to and fro. She jumped and hopped with glee, snipping little insects from his chest, his legs, his back, his tummy. Slowly, slowly, day after day, the boy began to sit up, until he was sitting cross-legged, with his hands holding a cup of little scribbling insects. And the wren, being wiser than many, many crows, was hoppity-hoppity to and fro, giving him a dance and flirting with him with glee. She hopped and danced around, and then flew off into a nearby tree. Frustrated and tighted he was. Waiting and waiting, the patience flickering, his eyebrows began to twitch. And the twitch itself caught the heart of the wren, and she decided there and then to be his friend for a while. So, happily they danced together, the boy and the wren, to the amazement of all the people in the village, all the husbands and the women. The boy and the dancing wren. Every morning, hard as lead, he'd drag his way out of bed just before the dawn to catch his beautiful love, entranced over the moon like the wind that's found her flame. He danced with the wren again and again. Entranced in love, he felt deeper still. Such an achievement, such beautiful dance and skill that they both had together in their little play every morning before the day. Then one day, Wren flew away. Morning after morning, danced his way in his own madness into the day. Slowly, slowly, his heart began to sink, but the grin on his cheeks got wider and wider, for he loved and loved his wren. The people of the village became a little concerned, a little more concerned than they had been for all these years. For now the boy was wild and free, but completely and utterly out of his tree. He danced and danced throughout the day, and he would not stop and would not stay. Nobody could get him in for tea. He started eating insects and licking more than the honey, because he went from tree to tree and tried different sap and different dew and different things and rejected all the things of the village stew. But nothing could they do, these people tried. They called on the help of their totem as a guide, and the crows came, as they always did. And they just laughed and quacked and said, well, he made his Sid, which is, in old terms, the word for he's made his decision. So they did not interfere, those wise old crows, because they knew a deep secret that not many knows. And he danced away into the woods, was not seen for many, many, many time. Until one day that poor old boy came crawling back to the village, all bones and mud and cloy. And he crawled into the village square and lay there in the mud. His tears rolled down his cheeks onto the floor, greater than any forest, rain, storm, or flood. For his heart was broken into little shreds, and little pieces he wailed and wailed. She is gone, my lover's gone, I could not never tame the wren. For none, as the wind in the trees knows, as she dances to and fro, secretly jealous of the wildest bird, the wildest dancing beauty that's heard in its little cheep and its little song of cleverness, true wisdom of the wild. Only there it belongs.